out of 5. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just tap on it. So again,
Okay.
we start tapping here. So even though I've got this discomfort in my shoulder,
So even if I have this discomfort in my shoulder,
this presence in my shoulder,
this presence in my shoulder,
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway,
Even though I have this discomfort in my shoulder.
even if I have this discomfort in my shoulder.
Excellently. Just while we're tapping there, what is the feeling in your shoulder right now?
I can't really feel anything.
You can't feel anything at
No.
all. Right. Okay. So it was a 6 or a 7, you
Yeah.
say, and you can't feel any discomfort.
Maybe just a little bit of a heaviness.
A heaviness,
So, yes,
yeah.
I'd probably say it could have gone down to a 4.
About a 4, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just tap on that. And so what we do is we change it as we're working and say, even though I've got this heaviness,
Even if I have this heaviness
in my left shoulder,
in my left shoulder,
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
Even though I have this heaviness
Even if I have this heaviness
in my left shoulder,
in my left shoulder,
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
Incidentally, it might be more useful to say, even though I have this
Even though I have this heaviness in my left shoulder,
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
I deeply and completely accept myself anyway.
And just say this heaviness in my left shoulder. I'll just show you the tapping points, and I'll look at the camera now while I'm showing them, and Mal can just follow me. So just as you're tapping there, just say this heaviness in my left shoulder.
This heaviness in my shoulder,
In my left shoulder.
in my left shoulder,
Okay, then the side of your right, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
Okay, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
Underneath your right, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
Okay. Then the middle of your top lip, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
This heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
Below your bottom lip, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
This heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
And your collarbone, the knobbly part of the collarbone. Again, it doesn't matter which side you tap. Just say this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
This heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
Then underneath your armpit, with the flat of your hand, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
This heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
And lastly, on the top of your head, this heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder,
This heaviness in my left shoulder.
this heaviness in my left shoulder.
That's it. Now just relax and just take a deep breath. And have a little drink of water again. Okay. How's it now?
I have to say, and I'm not joking, back home, but there's very little there. If anything, I would probably say, David, a 1.
A 1.
And it's very, very light.
Right, right. And I have to say that I have been doing emotional freedom technique for 8 years now. And constantly I get these results when I'm working with people. And they often look at me as if it's very strange, because I've had this for so long. This pain, this discomfort, this anxiety, and whatever the issue is, after a couple of rounds of tapping, quite often there's change. Obviously with more persistent issues, particularly issues that have been present for many, many years, or emotional issues such as abuse, things like that that have started in childhood, there can be more aspects to them, particularly emotional issues. But physical pain, it's unusual, because quite often after a couple of rounds of tapping, the pain, the discomfort has actually subsided considerably, and people don't expect that, and it usually is a surprise.
Now, I know you've been demonstrating today, David, the tapping technique, and I have to say it feels very different to me now, which I'm very surprised about.
I know you were, yeah. I know you were surprised, yeah.
But can people use this technique at home, or would you have to come to somebody first and kind of get the idea of where to tap or how often to do it?
Yeah, and this is a question that people commonly ask me, can I do this at home? And one of the most important things we focus focus on is teaching people how to do these techniques for themselves, so they can manage their own lives. They can manage the stress, anxiety, or whatever is going on in their lives. And yes, you can do it at home. You can do it yourself. As I say, part of my work is teaching people how to do EFT. Now, one thing I would say also, that sometimes when you're in the middle of your own problems, or your own pain, discomfort, anxiety, stress, it can be a little bit more difficult to actually get the same kind of changes on your own, but nevertheless it often does work. I use it on myself quite a lot. I'm a psychologist here in the Asanté Therapy Centre, and I find sometimes my work is quite stressful, and so I use it quite a lot myself to handle my own stress levels, to kind of relax myself. I use other techniques, of course. I meditate regularly. I need to. It's very important. I believe everybody should do that. But I use EFT a lot, especially if, for instance, I can't sleep at night. Things on my mind, you know yourself. Everybody gets that. But certainly you can use EFT anytime. One of the most important things is you learn the tapping points and you learn how to use it. It's like any tool, and EFT is just a tool like any other. But it's a tool that people can use themselves on their own issues and problems. Okay, so just one quick question. How is it now on a scale of 1 to 10? Is there any sensation or pain there? Discomfort?
I actually don't think there's anything.
You don't think there's anything there? Oh,
no.
That's
if anything, it would be like half of a 1.
Really? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe we can deal with that half of a 1 another time. Yeah, absolutely.
David, please tell everybody at home, how could they get in contact with yourself?
Okay, you can call me. Our telephone number is 041 9803 783. If you want some more information on the Asanté Therapy Centre, have a look at our website, www.asante.ie. That Asanté is spelled A-S-A-N-T-E. So asante.ie. And if you'd just like to call me just for a chat, you can ring the number anytime. We don't charge for telephone calls, and we can have a chat about how EFT might be able to help you in your life. Thank you very much.